What's up, Crypto Knights? Derrick here with you again, and it is Tuesday, June 19th, 2018. And that means we are just one day away from the Icon mainnet token swap. All right. That's right. After some delays, some drama kind of festering within the Icon community, and a little bit of, restlessness amongst investors and just kind of trying to figure out what's going on with the Icon project. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that today. I'm going to let you know what I think about that and what my thoughts are about the Icon project moving forward. But first, before we talk about that, I want to go ahead and let you know what the token swap's all about, how it's going to go down, how you can make sure your tokens are swapped appropriately from the old ERC20 tokens to the new ICX tokens that are going to be a native Icon blockchain token. And let's go over all that, and I'll let you know exactly what you need to do in this video today. So before I dive into that, I do want to give you full transparency as always and let you know that I am an investor in Icon. I do have Icon in my portfolio. It's not my largest position, but it is one that I have a lot of belief in, a lot of hope for moving forward. And it's one that I think is going to perform incredibly well in the next bull run, which is hopefully sooner rather than later, crossing my fingers here. But, there are some problems that are kind of bubbling up to the surface. And that's, it's very important as an investor to look at all angles, right? You got to look at the bullish case. You got to look at the bearish case. You got to look at what everybody's saying. Try to arm yourself with the most possible information and make the best decision based off of that. So we're going to go over everything as far as I see it with the Icon project and where it's at right now. But let's start off with the token swap, okay? Icon just released this very easy to understand Medium post and let everybody know how the Icon swap is going to happen, okay? So again, right now, the ERC20 ICX tokens are the Icon token as it has existed since the ICO went down and since the tokens were released to early investors and have been traded ever since. Okay, now the token swap is going to swap those ERC20 tokens for the mainnet ICX tokens, and it's a one-to-one swap. So that means however many Icon you have as ERC20 tokens, you'll have exactly the same number of Icons tokens on the new native token, okay? So nothing will be different as far as that goes. But the token swap is being handled a couple of different ways. Number one, you can do it through exchanges, the exchanges that Icon is currently being traded on. And there's 3 exchanges that they've confirmed so far, okay? As of the time of the writing of this post, yesterday. And those exchanges are Binance, Upbit, and Bithumb, as well as you will also be able to use the Iconics wallet, which is Icon's own wallet that they've developed that currently you can also store your ERC20 Icon tokens in. So you'll be able to use a swap feature that is being built into the Iconics wallet to handle it yourself as well if you don't want to do it on exchanges. So me personally, I'm going to use Binance to handle this swap, and I've already sent my Icon over to Binance. And I want to give you kind of my thoughts on why I'm doing that. You'll always hear me say that I don't recommend leaving cryptocurrency on exchanges for any long-term period or really at all unless you're trying to trade. You have an open position and you've just trying to wait for a trade to close out, or have a set amount of your portfolio that you use for trading, whether daily, day trading, or just kind of swing trading. It makes sense then that you need to have some of your portfolio easily accessible. But something that you're just holding on to and maybe you're looking to get your returns 6 months, 12 months, a few years down the line, it's really not a good idea to leave cryptocurrency on exchanges. And the reason for that is because you don't actually control the private keys if your cryptocurrency is sitting on an exchange. And the rule is no private keys, you don't own it. I mean, if you don't have the private keys, you don't truly own it. And that's just what it comes down to. You get to act as your own bank with cryptocurrency, which is amazing. Okay, that's the revolutionary idea of Bitcoin, that you handle your own private keys and nobody can take that from you, right? No government can confiscate it. No bank can decide you've broken one of their arbitrary rules and they're just going to charge you fees on it or whatever. It's yours to control. But that's not the case with exchanges. So again, it's not something I recommend that you do, leaving cryptocurrency on exchanges. But in this case, I'm going to use their swap process, and I will tell you why. Okay, so for me, looking at what went down with the EOS mainnet launch and just the whole process as it's gone down, it's really just been a mess. It's almost 20 days into the month now. Of course, the snapshot was taken on the 1st and the 2nd of June for EOS, and then the process is just kind of dragged out and out and out. It took a while for the voting to go down before the main chain was launched. But even to this day, and this is the important thing, even right now as I'm making this video, deposits and withdrawals are still closed on all of the exchanges for EOS. So what that means is currently the only people that can trade EOS are those that already have it available on an exchange. Okay, so those people that did leave their EOS on Binance or one of these other exchanges and allowed for the exchange to register it and do the swap on their behalf, those people are actually able to trade their EOS and maybe get out of positions or switch to Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever you want to do. Okay, so those of us that actually took our EOS off the exchange and registered it ourselves, now we have the ability to move EOS into the new wallets, Scatter, GrayMask, Simple EOS, a few of the other wallets that I've seen out there. You have the ability to get access to your tokens, and you can stake them and unstake them and all that kind of stuff. But again, deposits and withdrawals are closed. So if you need to sell your EOS and get out of your positions, maybe you're not feeling confident with how the launch went or whatever, maybe you just need some extra cash and you're happy to take your profit, you can't do it right now. And that's a problem, right? And so personally, I wish that I would have thought about that beforehand, but we've never really seen something like this go down at this level before, right? There were so many EOS tokens that are ERC20 tokens that are out there that needed to be swapped over. So it is a massive process. So for that reason and that reason alone, being that I don't know exactly how this icon token swap is going to go down, I don't know if it's going to be a long, drawn-out process like the EOS token swap has been. And just to kind of avoid the potential of something catastrophic going on during the swap, I'm going to leave it on the exchange so that if I need to, I can close my positions on Icon, get out, swap to Bitcoin or whatever, and enter later once the smoke clears, if you will. Again, this is just protecting my downside. It's learning from what's going on in the industry. It's very clear as I'm making this video that there's a lot of things that went wrong and are continuing to go wrong with the EOS swap and the launch of the EOS blockchain in general. But that's not what this video is about. I just want to give you my thoughts on what I'm doing to handle the swap. And so I will be leaving my tokens on Binance and just letting Binance handle it for me. I'm pretty confident in Binance and the safety and security and definitely the great customer service. But with that said, again, even the best, safest exchange can be hacked. Of course, Binance was hacked themselves earlier this year. They did refund their customers for their losses that were involved in that hack, but all the same, it can happen. So again, my strategy is not to leave cryptocurrency on exchanges long-term, but I will be letting Icon handle this swap just in case there's a crazy bull run or some catastrophe that happens during the swap. Then I want to be able to get out of the market or, react however I need to react based off of what actually happens. And I've learned through this EOS process that, I probably would have been much better off if I would have left my EOS on Binance. I probably would have sold and been able to open some other positions and do some other things right now. But again, I don't want to make this video about EOS. This is about Icon. Okay. So if you're going to use the Iconics wallet, then you can actually use, so here's the token swap process actually. Here's the schedule, right? So you need to know about the schedule. If you're going to use the exchanges, you need to deposit your ERC20 ICX tokens. Binance, you need to do it by June 20th at 9 a.m. That's UTC plus 9. Upbit, you need to do it by the 20th at 10 p.m. That's UTC plus 9 time. And BitThumb is the same, 10 p.m. UTC plus 9. Now for Iconics, if you're going to use Icon's wallet, you can do the swap between June 25th and September 25th. So this is actually an entire month or 3-month process that's going to allow you to swap over your tokens. So I know people get scared when these token swaps happen. You think like, oh, if I don't act right away, then I'm going to lose my tokens, or there may be no way for me to, maybe you're out of town right now and you're seeing this video after the 20th. There will be a process to go through over the next few months in order to swap over your Icon tokens. So nothing to panic about. This is a pretty simple process. If you want to make it really easy for yourself, just upload or, I should say deposit your tokens to one of the exchanges. And if you're confident in doing that, they'll be able to handle it for you. If you're not and you want to handle it yourself, then you do need the Iconics wallet, which you can get from Icon's website right here. Go to wallet, and it is available in the Chrome web store. And you can go ahead and use the Iconics wallet inside of Chrome. Very easy to use, clean wallet, well reviewed, all that kind of stuff. So it's been out there for a while now. Actually, a recent update on June 4th. And yeah, you'll be able to do the swap right within the wallet. Now, the swap process for using the Iconics wallet is in this Medium post. So I would recommend you follow those steps if you want to go through that. And that's pretty much it. So one important thing to notice is here's what they wrote in the Medium article, and we're already seeing these, of course. There's always so many scams that pop up around really anything that happens in the cryptocurrency space that's a big event, but definitely around the token swaps and the mainnet launches, because a lot of people coming into this space are very new. Maybe that's you, and this is your first time coming into contact with a mainnet launch and a token swap and all that kind of stuff. So you'll see a lot of stuff online that may be very tricky, try to take advantage of the situation. So from this Medium post, they say there may be scam attempts impersonating Icon. icxtokenswap will only be made through Iconics, Binance, Upbit, and BitThumb as of June 18th. If you find any scam attempts, such as asking to send your ICX to an individual wallet for the token swap process, please let us know. Okay, so you want to be hyper aware, hyper vigilant about this kind of stuff. If you go into Icon's Telegram group and you ask questions, and some random person messages you and tells you they can help you with the swap or something like that, run away. No admin is going to message you. No one's going to tell you to send your Icon to some random wallet. Just follow the process as it's laid out here. Either use one of the exchanges to make it as easy as possible for yourself, or you can do the Iconics swap yourself. Now, let's get into what's going on with Icon overall, because there is some drama. And here is a post that came out a week ago in the Icon subreddit. And, it says, what happened to Icon's roadmap? This is from a Reddit user, Antonymon. And he says, he or she, they say, I know this sub has seen its fair share of complaining as of late, but this is getting ridiculous. Icon has met virtually none of their deadlines. This year was supposed to be the year of adoption, as they said, and Icon has failed spectacularly so far. Not only have we only received essentially a glorified Ethereum wallet since the summit, but zero deadlines have been met with zero commentary from Icon. Whatever became of this roadmap? And it says, March 2018, token swap mobile wallet. Of course, it's now June, and we're we're behind. The token swap is going to go down in June. It was supposed to happen in March. Mobile wallet is not here. I don't know when it's actually going to be released. April 2018, IISS launch and ICO platform. Q2 is an Icon F DEX public channel, etc. It says they say so far none of this has been done other than an Android mobile wallet that's not even useful now. All we have gotten since the summit is symbolic partnerships with Samsung, Line Corporation, universities, and so on. Yet despite all this impressive clout in the industry, ICX can't get a few exchanges to cooperate with its token swap. Meanwhile, terrible projects like Tron organize their mainnet swap through all their exchanges, involving some confirmations from over 30 exchanges, and has been live tweeting every time an exchange approved. Yet Icon can't get a basic mainnet swap done. Again, I'm just reading directly from this Reddit post. This isn't my personal opinion. So I'll finish reading this and then I'll add some commentary to it. So they continue. I know you are all sick and tired of hearing about the token swap, but let's be real here. This is the original cloud hanging over the head of this project. I understand needing more time to build these impressive projects, but why even set these dates then and proceed to ignore not one, but all of them? And then on top of that, not communicate with anyone about it. The token swap is not some minor thing. It is the most important initial building block to Icon's adoption. Icon, for all intents and purposes now, is effectively useless no matter how many partnerships they throw at us. Developers can't build on Icon, and there's no actual real example of Icon working because we can't use its blockchain. All we have is a crummy ERC20 token. Do you know what it would mean if just the ICX blockchain was live and we could do transactions over it? Not only would it demonstrate the speed of Icon, but the project would finally be real and usable, even if it was just for basic transactions. We have received nothing since the Icon Summit that could count as a legitimate release. And as a result, confidence in the project has rightfully plummeted. Only with Icon could you buy at minus 85% from all-time high and still get burned. Because there's nothing holding this coin up right now other than symbolic partnerships and some faith based on everything we knew back in December 2017. Please, Icon, save all your partnerships and their updates. Please just tell us when we can expect to actually be able to send ICX over the Icon blockchain. How about you also tell us when the ICO platform will launch, or the DEX, or anything from your long list of expected releases, of which none have materialized. And that's the initial post. This has 147 upvotes on Reddit. So we have some responses here. No Fantasy says, according to this subreddit, not communicating delays on specific milestones is standard professional business behavior as long as partnerships are announced from time to time. You've got some kind of sarcastic responses. And overall, if you go ahead and read through this, you'll see that there's a lot of people in the Icon community that are feeling restless, right? They're starting to lose a little bit of faith in the project, and they're calling out the developers, they're calling out the foundation behind Icon, and saying, hey, what's with the roadmap? You're not hitting your goals. You're not doing what you said you would do. And most importantly, the team does not seem to be communicating much. So that's the issue at hand right here. And, they're talking about the Icon Summit, which is back in January. It was January 31st that they gave a quick summary here on their Medium of all the different things that was going on. And now the roadmap for Icon has been removed from their website, which is pretty weird. I found that very strange. When I went to the Icon website and was looking for some information about the token swap, and I was trying to find the roadmap because I wanted to see when some of these ICOs were going to come out, as they talk about here in the summary from the annual summit back in January. And there's the roadmap right here, of course. There's some dApps and new partnerships, Blue Whale, we've talked about previously, and some of these different dApps that are coming out. So the timelines are not being met. The roadmap being taken down is pretty weird to me, and the lack of communication is trouble. Now, one thing is no one really cared about any of this stuff or does care about any of this stuff when the bull market is here, right? Let's just be honest. If Icon was, going up 100% a day or 200% a day, or, all the crazy things that we saw back in December and January, nobody would really care, right? This was one of the most successful ICOs of 2017. They were able to raise just over $42 million very, very quickly. And of course, it had a long holding time to be listed on the exchanges. And that was something that initially kind of rubbed some of the investors the wrong way. They were just waiting for a pretty long time for it to actually get listed, but it all turned out okay when you're talking about the standpoint of early investors, because from the ICO rate, even with where the market's at right now, you're at an 18.24x USD ROI, you're at a 9.9 times your F value, and you're at 10.72 times your Bitcoin value if you got into the public ICO. Private sales and whatever deals are arranged there, you could have made even more. But we are down in the markets right now, and it's been a really rough year, especially for those that did FOMO buy into a project like Icon or any of the others at all-time highs. We are really, really far down. For Icon specifically, let's look at all-time high data, which is a great website. You can check this out if you want to look at, how far something is from its all-time high. Now, Icon had an all-time high back on the 9th of January. Now, we saw the peak of the market on January 6th. That's when we were at like $850 billion total market cap. And when many cryptocurrencies hit their all-time highs, like on that day or right around that day, Icon hit its all-time high on the 9th of January. And it was at $12.64 at that time. Today, it's trading at just over $2, $2.08. So Icon is almost 508% down from its all-time high. Okay. And I should say, to get a new all-time high from here, it'll give you a 508% ROI if it does meet an all-time high from here. So there's still a lot of potential, right? And as I said earlier, and the reason why I gave you the full transparency that I am invested in Icon is that I am a little concerned about what's going on. And I think, the team needs to respond, okay? They need to see what's going on with the community, and they need to understand that people are feeling nervous, that deadlines are not being hit. Now, in a technology project, especially when you're trying to build revolutionary new technology that hasn't really been done before, you're going to miss deadlines, right? It's very common in tech and in software development. And one of the reasons that you need to communicate, right? You need to communicate with your community is because a lot of people that are getting into cryptocurrency for the first time or got in December and January, they were coming in based off of the incredible hype around Bitcoin, and they may not understand a lot about the technology, and they may not even understand a lot about technology development at all. So they may not know that it's pretty common for things to get delayed, right? Almost nothing happens on time. And often if you launch something on time, or you're really struggling or rushing, I should say, to launch something on time, then you may get a situation like EOS has had with their launch, where there has been critical bugs discovered. The blockchain had to be paused. There's been a lot of a mess. Again, I don't want to talk about EOS too much, but there's a trade-off, right? You need to make sure that when you launch code and you get your product out there, that you've done everything you possibly can to remove all the bugs and make sure it's secure, especially when you're talking about a blockchain project, because, people's money is locked up. Sometimes billions of dollars in value, in wealth, are locked up in these blockchains. Okay, so we need to be really careful about that. But most importantly, there needs to be communication. And I don't know if this is just kind of a disconnect between the team, who is largely Korean, and the way that Korean business is done is quite different from the way it's done in the Western world. And business in general, as I think somebody kind of talked about this in the Reddit post in the Reddit thread here, which, there was some interesting conversation brought up about the fact that business in general is done very, very differently from what we expect in the cryptocurrency space. But that's the reality now. We are expecting that the teams behind these projects communicate almost daily, right? If, we have Telegram and there's large Telegram groups and, people are going to ask questions, and especially around big things like this, like a token swap, right? So we need to know what's going on. And I think that the team could squash or, kind of put to rest a lot of these concerns for the time being if they just came out and communicated more and said, we're sorry for the delay. Here's what we're doing. Here's why the delay happened. And, here's what we're going to do to move forward with the project and make sure we get back on track with hitting our roadmaps. It's a simple thing that they can do. It doesn't really seem like they're coming out to do it. But my opinion is that I'm going to let this ride out. I am very, very excited about this project for a number of reasons. One of them is that it's a Korean-based platform, and Korea is one of the top markets for cryptocurrencies, and they're only just barely starting to see kind of the growth of a homegrown infrastructure around cryptocurrency. So I think with some of the news that's been coming out of Korea, that ICOs will likely be made legal again in Korea, meaning that Korean companies will be able to launch their own ICOs. And, Icon is going to have a platform for launching ICOs on top of Icon, okay? And I think that a lot of the Korean companies are going to be attracted to the idea of building on a homegrown blockchain, if you will. I'm also very interested in their technology stack and just everything about the project. So personally, I'm still holding my Icon. I'm not ready to throw in the towel, but I will be watching intently and making sure that the developers and the team at Icon respond to the very valid complaints of the community. Okay, so that's it for me today. Thank you for watching this video. Go ahead and leave me a comment. What do you think about where Icon's at? Are you still bullish on it? Are you bearish on Icon? What do you think? Give me your opinion on Icon. Let me know, if you have any questions that I can answer about this token swap process. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward, but definitely leave a comment and I'll help you out in any way that I can. And if you haven't yet, please click subscribe. Go ahead and click on that notification bell. That'll notify you every time that we launch a new video on this channel. And as always, give us a thumbs up, share this with your friends, let everybody know about Keys to Freedom, and we'll keep bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and interviews and all of that good stuff. And I will see you again very, very soon. Peace.